Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today our group will present about public bank. Our group members contain with 4 members, which is me, Abdul Razib Abdul Wahab. Second, Ahmad Zamir bin Zainuddin. Third, Muhammad Ali Ashraf bin Anwar. And lastly, Muhammad Nabi Shafiq bin Muhammad Nasir. Segmental reporting. For company background, Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Teh Hong Piao is a founder for Public Bank. Public Bank is the third largest banking group in Malaysia. The total asset size of RM 461.23 billion as at end of September 2021. Their first branch is in 6 August 1966. First branch in Jalan Gereja, Kuala Lumpur. Public Bank mission: to sustain the position of being the most efficient, profitable and respected premier financial institution in Malaysia, providing the most courteous and efficient service in every aspect of its businesses by being innovative in the development of new banking products and service for the customer, promoting the well-being of its staff through attractive remuneration and fringe benefits by promoting good staff morals through proper staff training and development and provision of opportunities for career advancement for the employee, forging ahead and consolidating its position as a stable and progressive financial institution by generating profits and a fair return on their investment for the shareholder, assuming its role as a socially responsible corporate citizen in a tangible manner by adhering closely to national policies and objectives, thereby contributing towards the progress of the nation for the community service. Management approach. Factor to consider having a segment reporting. Nature of business activities can be reported in variety ways of reporting. Public Bank Berhad, commercial banking, provision of related financial service. Second, existence of managers responsible for activities, directly accountable to and maintains regular contact with the chief operating decision maker to discuss operating activities, financial result, forecast or plans for the segment. And lastly, information presented to Board of Directors. The characteristic may apply for 2 or more overlapping sets of components for which managers are held responsible. The structure is sometimes referred to as a matrix form of organization. Types of segment. First, hire purchase. Hire purchase operation focus on the provision of passenger vehicle financing to all levels of customer. Second, retail operation. Retail operation focus on providing products and services to individual customers and small and medium enterprises. The products and services offered to customers include credit facilities such as mortgage, trade and personal loans, credit cards, remittance service, deposit collection and investment products. Third, corporate lending. The corporate lending operation cater to the funding needs of larger corporate customers, which are primarily public listed companies and their related corporations. For the fourth, treasury and capital market operation. The treasury and capital market operation involved in proprietary trading in treasury-related products and services such as foreign exchange, money market operations, and securities trading. For the fifth types of segment is investment banking. The investment banking operation cater to the business needs of large corporate customers through the provision of financial solutions and direct lending. The service offered include structured financing, corporate advisory service, merger and acquisition, stockbroking, and debt restructuring advisory service. Next, fund management. The fund management operation consists of sale of trust units and the management of unit trust fund as conducted by the bank owned subsidiary company, Public Mutual Berhad. Head Office and Funding Center. Head Office manages the investment of funds from shareholders' fund and capital securities, provide support service to the business segment within the bank as well as serve as a funding center. And lastly, others. Others refer mainly to non-core operations such as property holding. Geographical segment. Hong Kong SAR. This includes all business operations conducted by the bank subsidiary companies in Hong Kong SAR and the People's Republic of China, including retail and commercial banking and lending, wealth management service, stockbroking, and other related financial service. For Cambodia, this comprises all business operations conducted by the bank subsidiary companies in Cambodia, which includes mainly financing, deposit taking, general insurance business, and stockbroking. And other countries, which is Laos, Vietnam, and Sri Lanka, this refers to the group banking business operation in the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, Lao People Democratic Republic, and Sri Lanka. The Chief of Decision Making and its responsibilities. Tan Sri Datuk Sri Dr. Teh Ah Lek, age 61, position Managing Director or Chief Executive Officer. For his responsibilities is having control over the operational decision made. Second, deciding how resources should be allocated. Third, responsible for reviewing performance. And lastly, essentially control the management committee. I will pass to Muhammad Nabi Shafiq.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and I'm here to present about the reproduction of the segmental report from the public bank. First, I am going to be talking about the 10% threshold test. First, there are three types of 10% threshold test, which are revenue test, the operating profit test, and the identifiable asset test. And I am going to be talking about the revenue test first. The revenue test includes revenues from sales, external customers, and inter-segment sales. It will be at least 10% or more of the combined revenues from all operating segments. Second, the operating profit test happens when an operating segment absolute amount of its operating profit or loss is 10% or more. Finally, the identifiable asset test. The identifiable asset test will be met when the operating segment's assets are at least 10% or more of all of the assets in the operating segment. Moving on, I'm going to show you the reportable segments from public bank segmental report. The reportable segments are as follows: hire purchase, retail operations, the treasury and capital market operations segment, and the head office and funding center segment. And the non-reportable segments are corporate lending segment, investment banking segment, the fund management segment, and the other segment. After that, the 75% threshold test. The 75% threshold test will be calculated using the total external revenue. The test should be attributable to at least 75% of the entity's total external revenue. However, if the requirement is not met, an additional reporting segment must be identified and added to fulfill the requirement. The calculation, and I'm going to show you the calculation of the 75% threshold test. The reportable segments are hire purchase, retail operations, treasury and capital market operations, and head office and funding center. We will be taking the revenue from all four segments, and it will be divided by the total external revenue of the entity, and it will accumulate to 79.96%. Hence, the reportable segments contribute to a total of 79.96% of the total external revenue sales of the entity. And here I am going to show you the new segmental report that we produced. The reportable operating segments of hire purchase, retail operations, treasury and capital market operations, head office and funding center are grouped up together. Meanwhile, the non-reportable segments are grouped up in the other segments, which are corporate lending, investment banking, fund management, and others. The advantages on segmental reporting are separation of profitable segment. It is easy for managers to improvise and improve on each segment. Eh, Next, it is low on cost on capital. It has easy access in financial crisis as the liquidity of cost on capital can help in recovery if crises arise in the company. Next, it's easy for shareholders to get a full understanding of financial statement. As shareholders will be able to make better decision based on the proper information that is provided. And here are the disadvantages on segmental reporting. Firstly, data manipulation. The practice of changing a company's financial records to give a false impression of its financial status is known as financial statement manipulation. Next, the based on argumentation. One problem that arises in segment reporting is the status of diversified organization for segment reporting operations. Depending on the segmentation foundation, many types of segments can be formed. It is also challenging to recognize segmentation. And that's all from the two of us on regarding about cemetery reporting. And I am going to pass it to Anis Ashraf and Zami to present about interim reporting. Thank you.
So I'm going to explain about the interim reporting. Basis of interim report has two types. The first type is the integral method and the second one is the discrete method. But before that, basis is an interim financial report that is prepared on a consolidated basis if the entity most recent annual financial statement were consolidated statements. The parent separate financial statements are not consistent or comparable with the consolidated statements in the most recent annual financial report. The first method that we're going to explain is the discrete method. Under this method, each interim period is considered to be discrete reporting period and such is not associated with expenses that may arise during other interim periods of the reporting years, which are interim period is a separate period and the report are prepared on the periodic basis. The second method is the integral method, that where under which each interim period is considered to be an integral part of the annual accounting period, which must include the interim report is a fraction of the annual report and the annual value expressions of the reporting period. And for the public bank, they use the discrete method in the report as they prepare an interim report on a periodic basis, which is quarterly. And according to the MFRS 138 intangible asset, it is acquired separate are measured at cost on the initial recognition, and which is a finite useful life will be amortized on a straight line basis over the estimated useful life and assessed for the impairment whenever there is an indication that the intangible asset may be impaired. And also with an indefinite useful life are not amortized but are reviewed annually for impairment or more frequently if events or change in the circumstances indicate that the carrying value may be impaired. Intangible assets with an indefinite useful life are reviewed annually to determine whether the indefinite useful life assumption continues to be supportable. The amortization period and amortization method for intangible asset with a finite useful life are reviewed at least at each financial year end. And for the next MFRS 140 investment property, the property which are held to earn rental income on for capital appreciation or both, property that are occupied by companies in the group for conduct of business operation are accounted for as owner occupied rather than an investment, a property upon consolidation. The fair values are based on market value, being the estimate amount for which a property could be exchanged on the date of the valuation between a willing buyer and a willing seller in an arm's length transactions. And the group has adopted the fair value method in measuring investment property. Investment property are measured initially at cost, including the transaction cost. And the investment property are also re-recognized when either they have been disposed or when the investment property is permanently withdrawn from use and no future economic benefit is expected from this disposal. That's all from me. I'm going to pass it to Muhammad Anis Ashraf. Stop.
Stop.
Types of interim report prepared by the Company of Public Bank Berhad. The first we have audited statement of financial position and followed by the audited consolidated statement of changes in equity. The third is audited statement of profit and loss. Next is audited condensed statement of cash flow, and lastly the audited statement of the comprehensive income. The period of the current and comparative for each statement of Public Bank Berhad. Public Bank Berhad condensed interim financial statement, statement of profit and loss and other comprehensive income for the fourth quarter of the year ended 30 June 2022. The fourth quarter ended for the current interim year to date is a 3-month of reporting period starting from 1 April 2022 until 30 June 2022. And for the comparative is also the same, that is 3 months started from 1 April 2021 until 30 June 2021. Next, for the statement of financial position as at 30 June 2022. For the current interim, reporting period is 6 months starting from 1 January 2022 until 30 June 2022, while for the comparative is 12 month of reporting period and ended of the preceding year, which is started from 1 January 2021 until 31 December 2021. Next, we have a consolidated statement of changes in equity. For the current interim, we have 6 months of reporting period starting from 1 January 2022 until 30 June 2022, and for the comparative we have also 6 months, which is started from 1 January 2021 until 30 June 2021. Lastly, for the condensed statement of the cash flow, the current interims for the reporting period have 6 months, the same, and started at 1 January 2022 until 30 June 2022. And for the comparative is also 6 months of reporting period, and the reporting date started from 1 January 2021 until 30 June 2021. For the adjustment 1, for the capitalization of development costs, which is we have provided on 30 June 2022, the company has accumulated a development cost amounting for 400,000, and the company has yet to capitalize on it. This is because intangible assets in the company are recognized only when the identifiability of economic benefit probability criteria are met, and not when its technical feasibility is met. We propose to add a technical feasibility to the criteria of the recognition of an intangible asset. And for the journal entry, we have debit intangible asset for 400,000 and credit bank for 400,000. Next, for the adjustment of public bank Berhad, interim statement of financial reports for financial position as at 31 December 2021. For the intangible asset, we plus with the 400,000, and for the before the adjustment, we got 2,459,434,000, and after we do the adjustment, we got 2,459,834,000. For the cash and balance with bank, we have 70,530,631,000, and after we minus with 400,000, we get 70,530,231,000. For the adjustment 2, which is on the change in fair value of investment property, on 1 January 2021, one of the company investment property is valued at 2 million. However, on 1 August 2021, the fair value of the investment property is 4 million, and the company has yet to adjust this on the financial statement. And for the journal entry, we must debit investment property for 2 million and credit as OPL on gain on fair value for 2 million. For the adjustment 2 of the public bank Berhad interim statement of financial position as at 31 December 2021, for the investment property, we plus with the 2 million, and so before the adjustment, we got 606 billion and 74 millions, while after we do the adjustment, we got 608 billion and 74 millions. That's all from me. Thank you.